This is The Top, where I interview entrepreneurs who are number one or number two in their industry in terms of revenue or customer base. You'll learn how much revenue they're making, what their marketing funnel looks like, and how many customers they have.
I'm now at $20,000 per talk.
5 and 6 million. He is hell-bent on global domination. We just broke our 100,000 unit sold mark.
And I'm your host, Nathan Latka.
Okay, Top Tribe, this week's winner of the $100 is Zach Ferron. He's a 22-year-old Apple employee, and he's listening to the show and loving it. For your chance to win $100 every Monday, simply subscribe to the podcast on iTunes now, and then text the word Nathan to 33444 to prove that you did it to enter. Many people ask me what tool I used to sell my first company, Heyo. The answer is thetopinbox.com. I used it to send emails, schedule emails to be sent out later, and set reminders inside my inbox so I would know when potential buyers were actually interested, and I easily remember to follow up with ones that hadn't replied to me. You can try it for free at thetopinbox.com. Nathan Latka here. This is episode 556. Coming up tomorrow morning, you'll learn from a company called Appointlit. It's a scheduling application that just hit $35,000 in monthly recurring revenue. It's weird how the co-founders met. They found and met in a Reddit thread. Now they're serving over 1,100 customers. Top Tribe, good morning. Nathan Latka here, and our guest today is Manuel Opitz, and he's the founder of Mecuris. Now, before founding the company as CEO, he worked as a medical IP broker in innovation management and as a technology scout in China. He graduated in industrial engineering, topped by an MBA. He takes a keen interest in optimizing healthcare process chains by digitalization and 3D printing. Manuel, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, very good. So tell us first what the company does, and specifically, what do you sell? How do you make money?
So we are in B2B. We are not directly treating patients. We are in medical technology. We are an enabler for orthopedic clinics and medical supply stores who allows them the step to the digital world, meaning we provide them customized, personalized, patient-specific prosthetics and orthotics. And we do this by 3D printing, of course.
That's great. So what got you into, well, give me an example. So I'm on your page right now and I see kind of the young child walking down the steps with a prosthetic leg. It looks like you're selling, who pays for this? Are you the hospital, correct?
Yeah, it's actually the insurance company. So in Europe, especially in Germany, we have a quite well-funded insurance system. So this little girl you see there, Sophie, she's like 3 years old, and she was born without one of her legs, and we provided her with a foot. The leg was made, custom-made, handmade. This is the current way, which is done by a medical supply store. We provided only the foot, and both together then were reimbursed by the insurance company to the medical supply store, and we just get paid like a service provider by the medical supply store.
Okay, got it. So let's focus on Sophie. She's so cute. This will be great. So we'll focus on Sophie. What is the cost of printing, say, a foot for Sophie?
Well, it depends. Of course, you could try some low-cost 3D printing methods like FDM or FFF, but we mostly use laser sintering, so-called SLS, which is slightly more costly, but it's for a children's foot, it's less than 100 euros.
Okay. So less than 100 euros. I mean, and how does that compare before 3D printing? What would you have to pay to build something like this?
Actually, for children, you would need to do it by hand. There are not so many children. Luckily, there are not so many children out there who need a prosthetic foot. So the big suppliers, they don't really have it in their product portfolio. We can just scale it up and down as we like to on the PC because we use 3D software, and then we can print it. And actually, the smaller it is, the cheaper it is for us. I mean, some prosthetic foot for adults, it's much more expensive.
Like how much?
For adults, if you think about cost-wise, it would be several €100.
Okay.
And compared to what, for instance, insurance companies used to pay to suppliers, it's usually something in the area of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, depending on the mobility of the patient, of course, how sportive they are and stuff like this. Mm-hmm. And we also charge in this area, so we can directly be reimbursed by the insurance company. Nothing changes there for our customers, which is really helpful to them.
So let's finish out this story with Sophie. So it costs you less than €100. That's about 104 United States dollars for the foot that you print. What do you then?
Material costs, far less.
Okay, yeah, it's great. It's amazing. What do you then turn around and sell that for?
Sorry?
What do you then turn around and sell that for, or how much are you reimbursed for that?
For a child prosthetic foot, it's something between €800 and 1,200 euros.
And how do you how did you get those numbers? Is that pretty standard across the industry, or is that cheaper or more expensive?
No, it's really difficult. It really depends on where you are insured. So if you're privately insured or publicly insured, here in Germany we have a big public insurance system, which is really nice, but it's also very, very difficult because every insurance, and there are more than 200 out there in Germany alone, everyone has their own prices, but it's roughly, you can guess some area. And then the medical supply store, they have to do the work in the end and get the reimbursement. We can only provide a cost estimation, but usually we fit in there. And even for public insurance, not only for private insurance, which pays much, much more than what I mentioned.
That's great. Okay, good. So we understand some of the economics specifically for Sophie's foot. Take us through kind of more about your story. So, and kind of volume that you're at today. In 2016, how many individual kind of prosthetics did you 3D print?
Actually, it were roughly slightly more about 30, but officially, I have to state this very clearly, officially we mostly sold prototypes. We are not allowed in Europe just to sell any medical product. You need a CE mark to do so, which is like a FDA approval. You can compare this very nicely. And we achieved this for the feet just now, and we will start to sell them in this month or maybe next month. So officially we didn't sell any products in 2016, but only prototypes, but still we got some seed funding in November, and since then I think we made more than 10K.
Okay, got it. What was this seed funding for, and how much was it?
We have two seed investors. One of them is the largest seed investor in Europe, the High-Tech Gründerfonds it's called. And the two of them, they provided, they have let's call it a standard deal. I'm not entitled to say exact numbers, but if you look on their website, you see what they usually offer. For instance, High-Tech Gründerfonds alone, they would offer something like 600K for 15% in convertible debt.
But it's a loan, not equity.
But we received slightly more because we have a side investor. So
did you sell equity, or it's just a loan that you have?
It's a combination. It's a very German thing that they do. It's
got it.
It's both together.
Okay, good. Well, is it fair to say though it's under $1 million?
It's under $1 million, yeah.
Okay, got it. So somewhere between, call it 400, 500-ish and $1 million. You did a combination of kind of a loan plus equity with these big players in Europe. That was in November, you said, correct?
Yes, and we also have some pre-seed financing from ourselves because we have a six-man founders team who all worked before, were professionals. Several of them serial entrepreneurs. We've founded 7 startups in total among all of us. So we brought in some money ourselves. We also got.
And Manuel, you cut out there real quick while you're reconnecting. I just want to remind everyone the company that he's referring to, it's called Mecuris, Mecuris, a great company. Found them because they'd raised capital. Manuel, I think you're back now. So you said you had 6 founders. How much did you guys put in of your own capital before you raised anyone else's?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. We put in like a 5-digit number.
Okay, got it.
per person. And we also received some government grants, pre-seed government grants. So in total, we will invest like 1 million end of 2017 with all the money combined.
Including
up to 1 million.
Including the seed round or just the founder money?
Including the seed round, yeah.
Okay, got it. That's great. That's helpful. And this is kind of unique. So 6 co-founders. How do you guys have the conversation about equity splits at the beginning?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. They were, most of them were quite experienced, to be honest. So they were serial entrepreneurs and they weren't involved in the operative stuff in the beginning, most of them at least. So one of them he's a physician and he's heading currently the emergency ward here at the University Clinic of Munich. And so he cannot be involved directly, but he also started 2 other companies before, so he's quite experienced. And the 2 others, they also had several startups before. And I think we built the team around the problem, which is really unique. We first, the physician identified the problem. He needed a solution. He tried 3D printing, thought, well, that looks well enough. How can we monetize it? And then we built the team around it together. And by this, I think we found a reasonable agreement among all of us, like the operative guys taking more risk, giving up their jobs entirely. Of course, they get more shares than the one most strategic in the background.
How many of them were kind of operational? Obviously, you and who else?
It was on the one side was Felix, like our software lead, and our product lead, product designer, Yannis. We were the first 3 operative ones, but now our CFO, he's operative on board as well. And the other 2, they invest mostly their free time or maybe 1 day a week. But we just hired now 3 more people as of 1st of January. And we also have like 2 or 3 student workers. So all in all, we are like 11 people now in the office, which gets rather crowded.
Hey, well, that's fun. Congratulations on the growth.
Thanks.
What year did you launch the business in?
Pardon?
What year did you launch the business in?
Officially, we incorporated only in 2016, end of May. So it's pretty recent, but I mean, the projects, this is based on the research projects. They are like up to 10 years old, starting in 2017. The other second project we are based on started in 2014, but I only committed myself in end of 2015. And from there, we took it and built up the founders team and incorporated then in May when we had some serious talks with investors.
And Manuel, is the business model going forward in 2017? Is it really to generate revenues from selling, prosthetic, 3D printed, limbs like you did with Sophia, or is it to be selling the prototypes?
In 2017, we want to sell the products. We want to show it works, and then heading for a Series A to go international and to go big in sales end of this year. We also will go international in some time. We have already some serious talks with big corporations already out there selling prosthetics who want to use our software platform, our brain, inside their own companies.
Is this like basically
looking for internationally?
Is that kind of how architects use kind of CAD? You have a software platform they can use to design parts to 3D print?
Yeah, exactly. So it's also some CAD software, and you can use any CAD software out there you like to make such beautiful prosthetics like we have. But the difference is we can do it fully automated in 10 seconds, and others people, they will need at least half a day, or if they are not professionals, they will need several days to create one of them. Last
question before I get into the famous 5. So Sophie had to pay between $800 and $1,200 depending on her insurance for that prosthetic foot. If she didn't have you guys as an option, there was no 3D printed, what would she have had to pay to somebody else?
Actually, what she had before as a treatment was she first had a bigger foot, which was slightly too large because it wasn't for little children, and they just cut off the toes, which makes it really difficult to walk. The alternative would have been to make something by hand, which would leave you with a waiting time of several months instead of 1 week, what we provide. And in addition, she might get more expensive, but it's really difficult to tell because overall the whole leg of her, it it cost something around 5,000 euros. And it's really difficult to tell which is only the foot, which is the leg, which is the joint between it. So it's difficult to tell.
What I'm trying to get at, though, is if she didn't have you and someone had to hand make this, how much more expensive would it have been?
I guess it's above the same, maybe slightly more expensive.
Okay.
As I said, 1,200 is a very good estimation, I think.
So you're big, and you're big kind of, what makes you so attractive is your turnaround time is so short.
We are much quicker. We can do it also. We can do some simulation work. So our quality, we can guarantee and simulate how much load bearing can this prosthetic foot do. This is really different to artisanal work because you can only judge by rule of thumb. And of course, in the long run, prices will go down. I mean, our 3D printing service providers, they're already giving us better rates. So we can definitely also move forward some of the advantage we are reaping in there. But let's see about this in the future.
Folks, I may have to stop doing the podcast. I will tell you why. I have found a business and I'm ready to go all in. It's the one I want to take public by the time I turn 30. It's called thetopinbox.com. And here's why I know it's going to be big. Very big. There are so many other companies charging way too much for this right now. Yesware, ToutApp, Boomerang. That's to do things like send later reminders and auto follow-ups for salespeople inside of your Gmail inbox. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it for free. We have so many people using it. It's growing so fast. And we do many of the things that salespeople love. We don't require people to leave the inbox to go log into a website. It's so simple to use. And I have to tell you, I mean, salespeople are like drooling over this thing. They're like licking the drool off their keyboard. They're loving this thing so much. Thetopinbox.com. Go install it now. Use it for free, people. Okay, I like you because you're listeners. Use it for free before I decide to start charging for it. Go right now to thetopinbox.com. Okay, Top Tribe, I have to tell you, many people go, Nathan, you came out of nowhere. Your website's growing so fast. How'd you do it? The answer is simple. So I use HostGator. I don't know if you guys know that, but I use HostGator. And the reason I do, they have like about 4,500 free templates I can use because I don't code. They've got a great e-commerce plugin. And guys, I bug the heck out of their support. They've got 24/7 support, which I love. So what I've done is I've worked with them. You guys know I make great deals. If you go to hostgator.com/Nathan, you can sign up, get your own domain for 30% off and a 45-day money-back guarantee. Okay, again, I make great deals for you guys. Go to hostgator.com/Nathan to grab that now. Very good. Okay, Manuel, let's get into the famous 5 here. Number 1, what is your favorite business book?
Favorite business book? Oh, there's so many out there, but I think I like most Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman on behavioral economics.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying currently?
No.
Number 3, is there a favorite online tool you have, like HostGator?
I really love Podio, but I also really like your scheduling tool, I have to say.
Oh, which one was that?
The scheduling tool, which with all the reminders I received, and I could easily shift my appointment from tomorrow to today because tomorrow I want to go skiing. So yeah, great luck for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is nathanlacka.com/schedule. You guys will see what Manuel is referring to. It's called Acuity Scheduling with Gavin. Manuel, I love that tool. It makes it so easy. Very good. Okay, number 4, yes or no, do you get 8 hours of sleep every night?
Yes, I do. I really need 8 hours of sleep or I'm far less productive.
And what's your situation? Are you married, single, do you have kids?
Serious relationship.
Okay, good. So no kids yet. All right, and how old are you?
30.
Okay, so last question, Manuel. Take us back 10 years. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Don't try to do everything yourself, smartass. Collaborate with some experts. There's so many great people out there, and you just need to find them, so you don't need to do everything yourself.
Well, Top Tribe, there you have it from Manuel, the founder of Mecuris. He's, again, laser really focused on generating these prosthetics, whether it's for kids or anybody else, much quicker and more customized than the alternatives. Again, the foot that he printed for Sophie costs about 100 euros to make. He turns around and sells that for about 800 to 1,200 euros, depending on insurance plans. They started in early 2016, have about $1 million of capital in the business between the founders and seed funding, focused on 2017 on growing the team from 11 and also selling more of their software to print these prosthetics, and also selling the prosthetics themselves. Manuel, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed Manuel today, go back and listen to Francisco yesterday of Pseudo.ai. They've raised $2.3 million at a $10.3 million post-money valuation to fix the CRM space. Top Tribe, I love giving away free money. I feel like Oprah giving away cars, and I have something special for you today. How many of you have heard our super sharp guests talk about success they've had with Facebook and Google ads? Well, all of you listening right now, yes, if you're listening, you get $100 in free AdWords. Here's how you get it, okay? Again, thanks for listening. Get the free $100 from Google right when you sign up with my website host provider, HostGator. Go sign up now to get your free money. HostGator.com/Nathan. Again, that's HostGator.com/Nathan. Okay, Top Tribe, I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. And don't forget, before you listen to any other episodes, subscribe on iTunes right now for your chance to win $100 every Monday.